Welcome to the ill blur magic shoo-be-doo-doo. Oh yeah.
Welcome back to Ill Blur Medic. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My returning subscribers, Ill family, thank you so much for returning and supporting. Also, new subscribers, welcome to the channel. And today's new video is going to be on one of my favorite Kung Fu films. But let's talk about it. So John Wick 4 will be a little different from the previous sequels, meaning John Wick 1, John Wick 2, John Wick 3 Parabellum. And I'm actually happy that Chad Stahelski, if I'm saying his name wrong, forgive me, is literally saying, you know what? We need to make a change for the fourth movie. So the fourth movie will involve more storytelling because let's be honest, I have my bias. I love John Wick, you know what I'm saying, for what it was. But there are some kinds with John Wick. It's a Kung Fu type of film. It doesn't have a traditional storyline. It's more unorthodox than everything I've seen for like Kung Fu films. And it definitely needs a little bit more storytelling in it. Like we need to dig deeper to learn a little bit more. Like don't get me wrong. The first movie got me. It got me because it was a story about him and the last thing he got from his wife was a dog. You know what I'm saying? The second movie was a little different. The third movie did some world building to learn about the other factions of Hitman and Hitwoman. So I did respect that the director Chad did decide to do that. But the good thing is we get more stories. So the fourth movie will have some more story and background on John Wick. Now, let's talk about the next thing that's the most interesting. So, the director also mentioned that with this movie, we will have some Greek mythology. So, pretty much, they're going to use the Greek mythology for some of the characters. Not exactly for sure which characters, but was it Odysseus or Odysseus, excuse me. Odysseus is the trickster god. That's going to be one of the actual Greek gods that they're going to use for the movie. And I think it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind when they use like other mythology into like these type of films. Hopefully it doesn't bore people because even the director mentioned that he said, look, even this movie is going to be a bit longer than the previous John Wick films. So he doesn't want to bore people to death in theaters. Like who wants to go to sleep in theaters? Nobody. You want a film that's going to keep you entertained with a solid story and just kind of understanding the characters in the world of the John Wick verse, right? So that's a good thing that he also mentions that. The last thing that's really interesting about this film, and you know what? It wasn't like super like obvious. I mean, I thought about saying, you know what? That makes sense. They're actually going to talk a little bit more about the high table. I forgot to mention too. So we'll get a little bit more about the story of the high table in this next John Wick film. But the last thing is ninjas. I'm like, what? I said ninjas? But then when I think about John Wick 3, the high table did have people that had swords. And they had like ninja-like, I guess you could say reflexes if you paid attention to it to some degree. So that's very interesting that we're going to see John Wick with a little bit more of a backstory. I'm so happy to hear this news because I'm like, you know what? I've seen other Kung Fu's and don't get me wrong. Some of them have a solid story. Some of them are kind of unorthodox like how John Wick is. And I think that this could make the film even a lot better because people like a good story. You know what I'm saying? No matter what type of movie you watch, it's something about a story that makes it more compelling to watch. And don't get me wrong, the first couple John Wick films didn't have a solid story. It was like loose story. But then, you know, when the third film came around, it kind of just showed you more of the world that John Wick is living in. These other factions, which I thought was a really good thing. Also, 2, by the way, I can't forget about 2. You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely great news to me. But you guys tell me in the comments, are you happy to hear with this story for John Wick 4 that we're going to get more, like I said, more of a story. It's going to be a bit longer than the previous John Wick films. On top of that, we're going to learn more about the high table. And also it's going to include Greek mythology. You tell me in the comments, guys. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for commenting and thanks for liking. And until next time, have a great one, guys. I'm out. If you made it to the end of the video, you are the real MVPs.